What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Rangers Central. And the New York Rangers made their first move here of the trade deadline, if you will, because the deadline's technically on Friday. But GMs think it's today for some reason, and it feels like it's today with how many trades we've got. But the New York Rangers, like I said, make their first move as they acquire Alex Wennnberg for a second-round pick in this upcoming draft and a fourth-round pick in the 2025 draft. Before we jump into everything, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Thank you to everyone that tuned into my deadline little show, if you will, even though, again, it's not the deadline live stream. I'm going to go live later, too, so leave a like on this, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know when I do go live for that stream later, where maybe we get a Jake Ensel trade announcement, whether it's to the Rangers or another team. Still would be pretty chaotic. So yeah, let's talk about Alex Wennnberg, though, in terms of the acquisition and in terms of what I feel or how I feel about it. So right off the rip, I like the trade a lot personally. Do I necessarily think that Wennnberg is a great third line center? Do I necessarily think that he's, perfect for this team? No, I will be quite frank. I don't think that this is, the perfect slam dunk move. But with the thin options that there were at the 3C position, we were hearing Nick Dowd. The rumor was that Washington wanted a first-round pick for him and that all these teams wanted an expensive price. Henrique, the rumored price was like a first-round pick, and then it ended up being a first-round pick, as we saw with Edmonton. So the Rangers got a third-line center at a cheaper price than most teams are getting this year. So for that, I like it alone. The other reason I like it is because of the fact, there is a couple reasons, but one of the main reasons that I do like this deal as well is because 2 years ago, we saw them give up two seconds actually, one of them a conditional, the condition hit, which made it a first, a fifth, and Morgan Barron for Andrew Copp. In my opinion, Alex Wennnberg and Andrew Copp are similar players in their own regard. I think Andrew Copp is better in terms of penalty killing, and I think he's better in the faceoff dot. So the value is there with Andrew Copp, but it's not marginally better to the point where, it warranted giving up that many assets. Let's be frank, they did overpay for Andrew Copp. I don't think this is a overpay. I think they're similar, though, in the regard that both are passengers. And we saw that with Andrew Copp here. He played a role that was not meant for him. He was supposed to come in and be the 3C for the team. Obviously, things did not work out in terms of playing the younger guys in the top six. We saw them form the kid line. That forced Copp into the top six at the right wing spot where he played next to Panarin. And, you play next to Panarin, your numbers are going to go up. Similar type of thing here with Wennnberg, where his numbers actually were up at one point because he played with Artemi Panarin in Columbus, where we saw him have a 59-point season. Ridiculous. But this year, he's having a solid season in terms of production. He has 25 points in 60 games played. He has 9 goals, 16 assists on the year. Even strike numbers, if you want to get into that. His even strike numbers definitely aren't as good as the numbers there. They're still solid enough. He has 19 points at 5-on-5, 6 goals, 30 assists, more than Zibanejad. Shooting at 11.3%, which is a little scary. So that tells me that he's not shooting the puck enough, that he has an 11.3 shooting percentage with only 9 goals. He's got to shoot the puck more. But I don't think it's the worst thing if he's playing with Kakko and Cooley. It's to be determined, of course, if Kakko gets moved. But if he does play with those two, I think Kakko's more than capable of driving play on that line. Will Cooley's good to chip in a few goals. We saw him do it last game against the Panthers. I think that Wennnberg is fine as a passenger on that line because that's just what he is. He is a passenger. He's averaging a lot of minutes in Seattle, so you're going to expect the points to go down. It's just going to happen. But again, we'll see. Maybe coming to a new team will give him a jump. Maybe he's going to want to shoot the puck more. We'll have to wait and see on that. But the thing that I do love about his game is the fact that he's a very good defensive player, and the metrics do him dirty in terms of how good he actually is defensively. The reason that you see his goals or his goals above replacement on the defensive side things low is because of his penalty kill. His penalty kill metrics really drag down how he actually is. He's not a good penalty killer. Is Laviolette going to put him there? Probably, because that's just probably what the Rangers envision, is him being able to help kill penalties. Do I want him to? No, because he's not good at it. But if he does come in here and doesn't kill penalties, he's going to be a very effective two-way player in terms of, giving very good defensive play. Not very good, like elite level stuff, but he's going to give like above average defensive play, which is better than what they've got from guys like Barkley Goodrow, Nick Bonino, and many others. I think he adds an element of some speed into the lineup, not a crazy amount, but a little bit of it, which again, an upgrade because they did not have a lot of speed in their bottom six all season long. He draws a good amount of penalties. He takes more than he draws, which does suck, but he is a positive in terms of how he does draw penalties as well. And then in terms of the lineup, when you look at things like I mentioned, he's probably going to slot in as of now with the way it is, without any other trades, which they're going to make more trades. But without any other trades, Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko would be the first line still. And then the second line, Panarin, Trocheck, Lath, stays the same. Nothing that changes there. And then Cooley, Wenberg, and VC would be the third line. Not the worst, not the best, but you still need to get a top line ringer. And then Goudreau, Brodzinski, Rempe is the fourth line probably, or Edstrom somewhere on that fourth line. But I think personally that this is a good enough fit, and I think that this is a good acquisition in terms of what they gave up. I don't hate it at all. Again, am I to the moon? Am I overly excited about Alex Wenberg? No, I am not overly excited. And we kind of heard rumors for a while that this would happen, so that kind of made it that, you know, it's not like out of left field like we've seen them do with a couple of other acquisitions. We kind of have known for the past like 48 hours or so that Wenberg would be a Ranger. It was just a matter of when, not if. And now it happened. And I'm not to the moon about it, but I do like the acquisition because I do think that he's going to be a solid piece. The thing is, again, they have to get a legit top line right winger. Otherwise, they gave up these assets for nothing, and it was just donating draft picks at that point. Go get a legit top line right winger, whether it's Gensel, whether it's Vetrano. I'm not in love with the Vetrano reunion idea, but you could get Gensel maybe. You could go get Buchnevich, go get Alex Tuck. I don't know how realistic it is, but those are the guys that I would really want. Then it's kind of like the Vetrano tier type guys, and then you got all the way down there is like Zucker and Duclair. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Also, another little note on the trade that I will mention before I go is that that fourth round pick could become a third round pick because of the fact that it does have the condition on it from the Niels Lundqvist trade, because that's how they got that fourth round pick. And if Niels Lundqvist racks up a couple more points down the stretch here, that ends up being a third round pick. Is he going to rack up like 20 points in the last few games? Probably not, because I think he's at like 30 points. He needs to be at 45 or 50. So 15 to 20 points in the last few games. Probably not going to happen, and Dallas is probably going to sit him so it doesn't happen. But again, there's always the possibility, which is why I mention it. So it's most likely going to be a second and a fourth, though, when it's all said and done with this deal. I am a little surprised that there's not a third team involved, because now the Rangers are sitting at a spot where they have $2.9 million in deadline cap space. If they send Edstrom and or Rempe down, that obviously opens things up. They would probably send one down because they need an extra forward. But if they do send one down, that opens up the cap to be about $3.6 million, which is enough to fit Vetrano in just under, since Vetrano cannot be retained, since Anaheim has used all their retention slots. So it would have to be a third team retaining. That would be a lot of assets for it. Gensel, if they cut that in half, he would fit in perfectly. Buchnevich, if that's cut in half, he would fit in. So they do have options here of what they're going to do. I'm not sure if they're going to go for a defenseman. It looks like they're probably not, unless it's like a seventh defenseman, which who cares? But that's really about the extent of it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know a lot of people aren't in love with the deal and don't love the idea of Wenberg. To me, I'm indifferent. Let's just see what he does. If he sucks, then sure, I'll hate him in a few months probably, and I'll hate the trade. But we will see. We will see what happens. Again, let me know your thoughts. Leave a like if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.